We have some good news.
They're only 4 back.
They're only 4 back. They didn't lose any ground. They have not lost any ground since the start of the Dodgers series. They've gone 1-4 since.
So
you know how many games they've lost and going 1-4? 0.
It's so stupid.
4 games back. If they were in the American League, we talked about this today, they would literally be buried. They'd be like 11 games out. But they're in the National League, not the American League. And the Padres, despite just I don't even know how to describe the offensive effort.
Lifeless.
You had Doug Eddings, true. You had the Julio Rodriguez play on Tatis over the center field wall, true. But you had 3 hits, and one of them shouldn't have been a hit from Xander Bogarts early. So they had 3 hits, and they were shut out in Seattle. And like, not now. You can't be getting shut out now. Bullpen game, and you get good pitching, and you can't score. So, John and Jim with you. It is the wrap-up show. It's been an eventful day for us here on YouTube. We just launched our John and Jim YouTube channel. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, we put the link in the top of the chat. It is pinned right now in the top of the chat. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to our brand new John and Jim YouTube channel, you can also click the link in the description down below. If you were with us today, we really do appreciate that. A lot of you are probably working or unaware. You can watch it back on replay or just subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time we have a radio show from 3 to 6 weekdays on San Diego Sports 760. Please subscribe to this channel as well. Year-round exclusive Padres content. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the supers. I already see one has rolled in. We'll get to all of the super chats here tonight. Click the $ below the chat box if you want to control the narrative, support the channel, ask a question. Just click the $ below the chat box. All you new members, all you members in general, thank you. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below. You'll get custom emojis and badges. It's deja vu stuff. 3 consecutive losses. I said they could do this one time from here on out. They've just done it. So it's just, I don't know, bad time to have a bad year. I mean, they're 55 and 59. That's who they are, and there's 48 games to play, and I don't know what happens from here, Jim.
But, John, they're only 4 games back of a wild card spot.
That's true.
It's the biggest load of shit because what I'm watching ain't a team that should be and going to be in contention. That's what I'm watching right now. Once again, the team was playing really well, and the Dodgers said, nah, your season's now gonna go to the wayside over here. And they just kicked the shit out of the Padres. And I don't know what they're gonna do tomorrow or the rest of the series. Or the rest of those road trip, who the fuck knows? But it just feels like after this team plays the Dodgers a lot the last couple of years, they just are completely flat for the next series and for like the next week straight. Doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, how can you be flat now?
And look, I said it on Twitter too. Well, another tip your hat game. I mean, can we stop with the tip your hat games? I'm sick of them.
Let me just say this.
He was amazing, but
Logan Gilbert's really good.
I know.
And Doug Eddings gave, I mean, it was literally Doug Eddings must have had a date tonight. I mean, it was Enrico Palazzo or whatever that guy's name was in Naked Gun. I think.
Dude.
Do I have Top Gun?
Doug Eddings. Good job. Doug Eddings is easily one of the worst umpires in all of baseball. It's Angel Hernandez.
Yeah.
And then Doug Eddings, and then probably like there's 50 feet of crap. And then you got everyone else.
I think Doug Eddings might be the worst. His strike zone is really bad.
Holy shit.
But here's the thing. I mean, he's umpiring for both teams. And listen, you got to give credit to Julio Rodriguez for that play. But you saw the thing I retweeted from ESPN Stats and Information. Let me read this, folks. I mean, this is the state of the Padres. This is the state of the Padres. And you can't put all this on Doug Eddings. I mean, that's not fair.
No.
This is ESPN Stats and Information. Logan Gilbert just put up the second performance in Mariners history of 10 or more strikeouts, no walks, and 1 or fewer hits allowed. The other was Felix Hernandez's perfect game. So 2 instances in the history of the franchise. When have they been around since 69? I mean, that's a long time.
Dude.
10 strikeouts, no walks, 1 or fewer hits. Come on.
It's a joke. It's a joke. This team just loves to go out there and show no fight. They like to go out there and just completely leg over or roll over, right? Logan Gilbert was amazing tonight. Yes, the strike zone played a factor in that, but you should probably identify pretty early that the strike zone is going to be shit.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting on a potential 50-50 call from Doug Eddings, and it's probably going to go against you, you might want to try to battle and swing the bat. Now they're like, it's hard to do that because these balls they're not strikes. They're so far off the plate.
Yeah.
That like the way that these players' minds are is, okay, that's a ball. And so there's no way they're going to swing. It's hard to adjust, and I get it. But man, dude, you
got to do better than this, especially when you get the pitching you got. I mean, one of the run scores on a pitch clock violation.
I mean, Logan Gilbert's a good pitcher, but he's by no means a guy that has like a 1.5 ERA this year.
No, he's not. He's capable of, I mean, he's had some good moments as a Mariner. He has former first-round pick. He's had some really good outings this year and last year as well. But the Padres got to be better.
Got to be better, man.
All right, let's get to some of the supers, guys. If you're here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to every single one of them tonight. Let's start with our buddy, That One Homie's Garage. Thank you, my friend, for hanging out. He says, good thing we didn't pitch Hader with a lead against the Dodgers to save him for this game. I'm so glad you started with that because I was texting back and forth with Darren Smith, right? San Diego Sports 760 after the game. I'm so glad Darren texted this to me. I did not hear it. I was listening, but I did not hear this. He referenced the fact that Melvin said post-game.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me just pull it up.
I heard
that Hader volunteered to save the other bullpen arms by pitching in the 8th inning tonight. But I'm thinking to myself, well, what do you mean you're volunteering? You haven't pitched in forever. Like, you have to get work. And who's running the team? Josh Hader or Bob Melvin? Doesn't Ruben Abla and or Bob Melvin decide when Josh Hader pitches? We haven't seen you. He's been in like the witness protection program. We haven't seen him in a month. Now, it would have been really interesting if they used him in the 8th inning and then tied the game in the 9th or took a lead and then didn't send him back out there potentially for the 9th inning. But yeah, I mean, we talked about that. They didn't use him in the 8th inning the other day. They used him in the 8th inning today, but that was the last inning. So, I mean, 8th inning on the road trailing tells you all you need to know, that they think they're losing and he needs work. That's how I looked at it at the time. But interesting that he said, I'll pitch the 8th. You're welcome.
Like, I want to rarely do you see your closer in the 8th inning on the road. I just, you don't typically see that. Like, you don't see Josh Hader really at all in the 8th inning. I mean, now, yes, if you don't obviously tie it up, you're never going to see Josh Hader. So if you got to pitch him there, I understand that.
Do you get that?
Yes, I got it.
If the Padres are losing in the bottom of the 9th, they won't play the bottom of the 9th.
But to me, when I saw it firsthand, it was just like that's interesting. Because we've just never seen it with Josh Hader. We've never seen Hader, unless it's a save situation, go in the game. You just don't see it from him.
No, honestly, dude, if you
or
go
tie
back
game,
and look,
or tie game.
But here's the thing, or if he needs work. If this happens all the time with closers on bad teams. They need work. Arizona, I bet, is pitching their closer in the 8th inning all the time. They're 7-22 in the last month. I mean, what are you going to do?
Okay, fine. Then with the Padres,
we'd have to look. He's pitched 8th innings because they've had stretches where they haven't been good.
So then my question is this: if you're going to pitch Josh Hader in the 8th inning, trailing by 2 runs in the 8th, why can't you do it when you're up by?
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, don't you agree? When else are you going to pitch him? What if they lose tomorrow 5-0? Don't pitch him then.
No, I get it. And then another point to this whole thing with what Melvin said about, Hader volunteered, and you're absolutely right. Who the fuck is the manager of this team? I think
it's Josh Hader.
Josh Hader, or is it Bob Melvin? Okay, I'm sick and tired of like players dictating when they're going to play and when they're going to pitch or where they're going to hit. Like, no, Bob Melvin's the manager of this team. He should go to Josh Hader and be like, hey, I need you tonight. And Josh Hader should say, whatever you need, Skip. Like, not the other way around. Like, it should not be Josh Hader going to Bob Melvin saying, hey, actually tonight I can't go. Like, no, that's bullshit.
Well, I don't know what happened here tonight. I think it's kind of a little bit the opposite of that.
Right, but there's been times this year, and you know this is the truth, when Josh Hader has said, like, I can't give you more than 3. I
Well,
can't
that's
give you more
every
than 3
game. He
outs.
hasn't had more than 3 outs in any game this year.
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
By the way, I mean, a couple things here. He had to pitch today. Let me explain why.
Because I know.
The 4-game series didn't pitch. There was an off day before that. The day before that, they beat Colorado 11-1. He did not appear in that game. I'm going back to the day prior, and he did appear in an 8-5 win. He hadn't pitched in a week. This isn't like, oh my gosh, you've done such a great service to this organization. He had not pitched in 1 week. He had to pitch. Up 100 runs, down 100 runs. He had to pitch. Let's move on to the next super. Andrew, thank you. He says, just when I think the Padres have hit rock bottom in, let me just say, sucking, they top it. 0 dog in them.
No fight. No dog in them. No fight.
Yeah, the fight thing is an interesting conversation. I mean, listen, they've been very disappointing.
Oh, God.
Now, does that mean they're not fighting? I don't know. They've been very disappointing. There's obviously something wrong with the way this team has been, I don't know, performing. 4 games under 500, 55 and 59. But there is no rock bottom on teams that aren't very good. We've seen that a bit this year with the Padres, and we'll see what happens from here on out.
It can always get worse, guys. It always can get worse. This team potentially could hit a new low. I mean, they could. They're very capable of that.
Yeah.
We've seen them this year be very capable of hitting new lows. They do it all the time. They're very good at it. It's just like it doesn't seem like they're going to turn it around, and it felt like it for a bit there, and I was ready to, like, after split at worst with the Dodgers, at worst, and I still feel okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you got your ass kicked. They didn't even like closely lose 3 games to 1. They got their ass kicked. Okay. And then you follow that up with a just complete, and Logan Gilbert was great. I get it. But, like, I mean, at one point, the guy had like 7 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he sent down at least 14 in a row at one point.
I'm sick and tired of tipping your cap. No, with this lineup, sorry.
Dude, if we tip our cap tomorrow with their AA dude that's coming up from Northwest Arkansas to pitch tomorrow, then he's got a 4.5 in AA. The dude pitching tomorrow against Yu Darvish. If there is ever a must-win, and they're 0-6 roughly in must-win games this year, if there was ever a must-win, or like, how can you lose game? Yu Darvish, your $100 million pitcher, against some dude from Northwest Arkansas in the Texas League with a 5 ERA or 4.5 ERA, you have to win the game. I mean, I don't care what happens with teams in front of you. I don't care if everyone loses by 10 runs. You have to win the game tomorrow. There is no other reasonable result for the Padres tomorrow. Zip. 0. Zilch. Now, Seattle's red hot, right? They've won 6 straight. They're scorching hot, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Every so often, thank you. He says, with the timing of Grupner's letter regarding more to come with signings, the media rumors with Soto. I don't know about Soto's deleted Instagram post. Do you, Jim? Extension time?
Yeah, he posted the I retweeted it on Twitter, and it was like Juan Soto saying how he loves the fans in San Diego.
When the hell did you do that?
It was like the graphic. You saw it, dude.
I didn't see it. When was it?
It was a graphic where he said, I love, like, the fans here, and it showed his stats.
Oh, yeah. Was this a handful of days ago now?
Yeah, and I was like, well, all he does is walk, like, joking.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did see that.
He posted that graphic on Instagram, and then he deleted it.
Why did he delete it?
I don't know. I think that's what he did. Weird. I think that's what he did. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I think that's what happened.
Hey, you know what we never talked about, Jim? We literally talk for 24 hours a day. You just mentioned something that got. What about this idea? I saw some things on social media. You saw them as well. What about this idea that Juan Soto did like a Soto shuffle, or like a whatever, the way he celebrated a home run down like 3 the other night?
Yeah.
And something else. Like, odd or not odd, like Soto is celebrating home runs down 3 runs in the 9th inning. I don't know. These guys, we give them such a hard time. I got no problem with anything Juan Soto's doing, because all he does is he's been the one that produces. So I'm going to take exception to him celebrating a home run trailing when he's actually a guy hitting a home run.
To me, it wasn't like the most egregious thing in the world. He basically did what he does every time he hits a home run.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
You know, he did like the with the third base coach. He does like the big like.
Oh yeah, he's like, we're down by 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little weird. It's I don't know.
But I don't think Juan Soto is the main problem with this team. I just
What do
don't.
you mean main problem? I don't think he's a problem. Now, did you see his line tonight?
Yeah, he started 3 times.
4
times.
Oh, for 4 Ks.
It goes back to the construction of this team. The superstars in that clubhouse, I'm pretty confident in saying this right now, they don't mesh well together. They don't.
You think?
I'm pretty confident after 120 games this year and watching this team play, now 4 games under 500. Xander's having the worst year of his career. Manny's having a bad year, a down year, not a bad year, down year. Tatis is slumping mightily. And he's also getting a little unlucky. We'll talk about that. Soto's having a good year. But like, I just don't see them meshing well at all. Like, it just doesn't feel like they mesh at all.
No, certainly with the way they're playing. I completely agree with that. Andrew, thank you. If you're here, guys, please subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. Please subscribe to our brand new channel. It's pinned at the top of the chat. John and Jim, please subscribe. Click on that link if you wouldn't mind supporting our work. Andrew says, we don't deserve to make the playoffs, no life. There is some truth to this. By the way, remember, we're in an era with the expanded playoff, which is fine. I have no problem with it, and it's great for fan bases, and people have hope. If this was any year other than 2022 or 2023, the Padres right now would be 7 games out. If this was the 2 wildcard era, which is a lot more than the 1 wildcard era, which is more than the no wildcard era, right? If this was the 2 wildcard era, they are 7 games back of the Giants. So the season's over.
Season's done.
But they're not. They're 4 games behind the Cubs and the Reds. They're 3.5 games behind the Marlins. They're 2 games behind Arizona, who is 7-22 in their last 29 games. So they're not, it's not finished. It just feels like it's finished. The facts remain the facts. They're 1 6-game winning streak away from being in a good position, but we've said that for 114 games. They're 1 5-game winning streak from being in a half decent spot, but we've said it all season long.
They're also 1 5-game losing streak
from being cooked,
packing this thing up, and everyone just going 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Now they've lost 2. They've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah,
you lose tomorrow, and if you lose Friday, and they're still somehow only 4 back, I'll be like, get the fuck out of here! Like, stop it. This team is 4 games on. What are they? 4 games under 500 now. Okay. My question for everybody in the chat. Will the Padres get back to 500 this year?
I can put that. I can
put that in there. Will the Padres get back to 500 this year?
How about over?
Will the Padres get over 500 this year? Because they're trying their hardest to not do it. They're like, oh, we're almost there. Nah, just kidding. Like, nah, just kidding.
Right. Hold on.
You put it in the chat.
Boom. It's in the chat right now. Please answer. It's at the top of the chat. All right, let's continue on here on the super chats. Niles, thank you. Really appreciate it. He says the Dodgers series was the spiritual end to the season. Trade everyone but Kim in the offseason. Start this whole thing over. I do not think they will do that. I mean, I know they want to trade 25 players, but I don't think they will start the whole thing over. I think they will say we were 0-10 in extra innings. We had extremely bad luck. And let's try again. And let's reconfigure to some extent in the offseason, but we'll do what we can do. I do not think they will start over. I really don't believe that. And I don't think, the season's over because of everything we've talked about, because they're 4 games out. But I think the season's on the brink, and I think it's close to potentially being over if they don't start playing better, like we've been saying.
And you know what I say to that excuse that will 100% be given at the end of this year is, that is utter bullshit.
Wait, they're just unlucky?
Yeah. Give me a break. It's unlucky if every time Tatis hits a ball 400 feet, the center fielder goes over the center field wall and brings it back.
Yeah, but that's happens. Unlucky. But San Diego makes good plays defensively too.
But my point is, like, I've watched these games and I've watched every single one of their losses in extra innings. And maybe 1 was unlucky.
Sure. Yeah.
1. Yeah. I could argue 2.
Yep.
I'll give you 2.
Definitely.
2 games were unlucky. What are the other 8?
Right.
Give me a
bad
break.
baseball
Bad baseball. They can't hit with runners in scoring position
all year.
all year. They're not hitting like near home runs. They're getting robbed. They're not
Right.
hitting balls in the gap that like guys are diving for and sliding across the field and catching. Like, give me a break. These guys are grounding easy double plays, hitting soft little pop ups, little cans of corn here and like, give me a break. This team, first of all, you make your own luck, and they have put themselves in no position this year like a good amount of times to make their own luck and make it so they're on the side the winning side. They just haven't. And that's a bad baseball team. That equals a bad baseball team. You're a bad baseball team. They're a bad baseball team.
What's the argument against Bob Melvin tonight, by the way? Where was
the Bob Melvin slander?
Yeah, what's the I already forget. Like, what happened in this game where it was on Melvin? All right, so actually I want to get to this. We're going to get to the supers, but I love when someone will like test me. Maria, thank you. Okay, every day, every time I come here, I expect Jim and John to be serious about holding this team accountable. And John says some ridiculous shit like say things like they're just unlucky. First of all, if you're listening to the way I said it, I'm basically baiting Jim to react to it, right? I mean, I'm not like, if you think I'm serious, I'm saying what they're going to say is they were just unlucky. I'm not saying they're unlucky. I'm saying what they're going to say. And by the way, what do you mean hold them accountable? Is there anyone, do you listen to the radio? Is there anyone that holds that's more critical? Honestly, I mean, to be fair, I think Darren can be critical, and I think he's very fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can be critical. I think we're very fair. But outside of that, I mean, where are you turning for this critique that others are providing and we are not? I'm very curious to hear it. Are we not providing an accurate critique of the San Diego Padres? Would you like us to say, fire everyone and sell the team? What does that accomplish?
I'll speak for just us, because I won't speak for anybody else, but I'll speak for just us. I personally think that this year has been the, like, every single day, I feel like I'm just shitting on this team.
Right.
Like, this team hasn't given us many reasons to praise them a lot. We've definitely talked when they do well, we talk about it. But I just feel like, and it's because of how they've been playing. Like, I've been so negative on this team this year. Right. I hate it. Right. Because I don't want to, I don't like the other night. I was just, after they lost to the Dodgers, dude, I was burned out. Now tonight gave me a new life of like annoyance, but I'm just like burned out by just continuously shitting and bashing this team because
you're not bashing. I mean, you may bash because that's kind of stylistically your style.
Okay, fine. Being critical of them and calling them out.
Well, how could you say anything else? And like Maria's like, you're not being, I mean, all we are is critical. And by the way, critical fairly. We're not saying like, hey, they're going out to the club every night.
Oh yeah. No.
They're not taking their job seriously. But we're saying, listen, Xander Bogarts, this has been unacceptable this season. But what else do you want me to say? Do you want me to say trade Xander Bogarts? What does that even mean? He has no trade clause. He's not going anywhere.
I'm not like, oh, they need to get rid of Juan Soto. They need to get rid of Manny Machado. Like,
no, what did I say? Literally for weeks heading into the deadline, I said I would sell. I mean, what else do you want me to say? That's an accurate, by the way, that's a statement. That was my opinion. They didn't do it. It could end up biting them. I'm not going to, by the way, I'm not going to come on the radio or on YouTube the day after the season and be like, I told you. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to say, listen, they put all the chips in and they came up. I mean, they lost, and now how does that impact 2024? I'm not going to be like, I knew it all and they didn't. But I mean, what else do you want us to say other than like what's real? And what we've said has been pretty real. I don't know what more you want us to say. You want us to kick and scream and curse all night? I think that's stupid. Yeah. Even though Jim does that. David, thank you for the super. He says, won't even bother with the vibes check. Shake my head. I mean,
vibes are at an all-time low.
Can't be good. Can't be good in that clubhouse right now.
The vibes for this season, if you're looking at us like this, they're just very low vibes. There's not been many times where the vibes have been high. A lot of low vibes.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. It has not been good. Retod, thank you for your super chat, guys. If you're here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the supers. Click the $sign below the chat box. He says Melvin should have been as confident as I was that the game was going to to the bottom of the ninth inning or more. Pretend that he believes players would through. Okay, like pretend like you're going to get to the bottom of the ninth inning with a lead, but they weren't. And
No.
so you're never going to pitch Josh Hader ever again. Like, what if they lose tomorrow? I mean, Josh Hader has to pitch. He cannot go 10 days without pitching. At some point, he has to pitch. You're going to wait till the bottom of the ninth inning tonight? What if there is no bottom of the ninth inning? There wasn't.
Yeah, and the deeper we get into this, like
he had to pitch.
Yeah, he had to pitch. He had to pitch. He had to pitch because
right now what's going to happen. They'll need him tomorrow in a safe spot, and they'll need him in Arizona the next day.
And
although I think they're off. Don't they have an off day?
But he won't be available. They have an off day Thursday. Yes.
Okay, then they're fine. Every so often, thank you for your support. Retod, thank you for your support. He says, I'm seeing a lot of posts by other teams' fans saying Tatis's robbed homers and warning track outs are because he lacks the power from no steroids. That's just stupid, obviously. That's interesting. That doesn't shock me. You would see that. He's been.
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming this year if he was slumping. That the first thing people and haters would say is that, well, looks like Tatis needs some steroids, like that's the first thing you're going to hear if you see slumping Tatis. But if you look deeper in the numbers, dude is hitting the ball. I mean, harder than anybody right now. And it's getting in the unlucky spots possible.
Well, awful hitting yards. He's hitting the ball to center field, is he not?
Yeah.
Petco, 396 feet outs. Whatever this place is called now. What the hell is it called? T-Mobile, maybe? 400 foot outs to straightaway center field. So it's bad luck. I mean, I'm sorry. Tatis is weak, which I've watched entirely. And I'm not saying he's been perfect. He has not. But he could have 2 or 3 more home runs easily this week.
He had a huge double on Sunday or yesterday versus the Dodgers. I mean, it didn't help because the Dodgers scored 55 unanswered runs.
Right. And don't get me wrong, he's been slumping, but he should have more to show for what he's doing here. In my opinion, he should.
And I continue, he's going to end up with probably around 30 home runs.
Yeah.
And probably around 85 RBIs and maybe 20 plus stolen bases. And yeah, his OPS numbers it's not great. His average is not really good right now. But he is a Gold Glove right fielder for whatever the Gold Glove's worth. And it's not worth anything because I've already established that, but he is one of the best defensive right fielders in the game right now.
His Gold Glove would be flat out legitimate because he plays the position flawlessly and nobody runs on him. There was a ball hit to right tonight in that pitch clock violation run scoring inning for Seattle where I'm like, how do you not go first to third there? And it's completely because of the respect for Tatis's arm. Right. They easily could have had third. I think even with Tatis, but no, we're not risking this.
Nope.
Not with Tatis and right. We're just not going to do it.
Nope.
Iron Lung, thank you for the super. Okay. Okay. Between Fadden, Hogg, and you guys, I prefer you guys. We appreciate that. Even though I told you guys the Padres were a collection of talent 3 months ago, we probably said the same thing. Padres will never see the Soto they thought they traded for.
I'll just say this. I think John's going to be shocked at me, but I think Hogg and I think Fadden, they do a great job. So there it is.
No, here's what I wanted you to do: wrap up show Hogg and Fadden in the chat.
No, they do a great job. I got nothing. Got nothing. We talk to Fadden all the time.
Dude, all you do is talk trash on Fadden.
That's true. No, they do their job and they do it well, and they grind, dude. I mean, that's the one thing about this thing is that what I respect is the grind, because
we grind?
It's tough, man. It's a tough grind.
Okay, you're not exactly digging ditches.
I don't want. Why would I dig any ditch? I got nothing against anybody.
No, I mean our work isn't as hard as most people's work.
No, what I'm saying is we grind and they grind because we know how tough it is. We all grind here. Everybody does. And baseball is an everyday roller coaster ride. It's not football. Basketball, you can have LeBron James and you're talk to me in the playoffs. It's different, dude. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. So respect, man.
Iron Lung, thank you. Regarding Soto, I mean, is it not who they traded for? I don't know. I mean, he could finish with a 960 OPS. His career average is like what, 980? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what his career average is, to be honest. OPS.
I can't believe you said rank. Now everyone in the chat's like,
right. I just wanted to get it all stirred up.
Of course you did. You want to just like stir the pot there.
By the way, his career OPS is 949. His OPS this year is 936. Like, this is it is the Soto they traded for, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. He's had better years in Washington. That's completely fair. Iron lung, he has. But I mean, this is a very good year. It's the best year in the Padres, and there's no close second. William Choi, thank you for your super chat. He says, technically, the Padres are a full 5 games back from the final wildcard spot due to the Cubbies owning the tiebreaker against them.
That's right.
In my opinion, San Francisco, Philadelphia Cubs get in. That's very interesting. I had not thought about that, but consider this as well. They're tied with Cincinnati, the Cubs are. What's the tiebreaker with Cincinnati this year? They lost 2 of 3 in Cincinnati. What happened in San Diego?
Did they lose that series?
No idea.
I'm just assuming they lost every series.
Someone put it in the chat. Does anyone know who has the tiebreaker in Reds Padres? That's interesting.
Hold on. I'm do this right now. They played. Okay, so they won 2 of 3 in in San Diego
and lost 2 or 3 there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the tiebreaker is there. That's interesting.
So then you go to like wins over
records against playoff teams. Who the hell knows?
Well, it's not great.
That's a great point though. In the Cubs, really good point.
Yeah.
Thank you, William. Esteban, what's going on, man? Thank you for your membership in the super chat. He says, winning tomorrow and sweeping Arizona. Let's go, I believe. I listen, the Arizona thing's very interesting because they're terrible.
They suck.
They've just been flat out awful.
Did they lose to the Dodgers tonight?
Hey, they were down 4-2 in the 8th. I'm assuming they lost. If they didn't, what happened? Does anyone have a score? There's no way they won. They've been awful.
Let's look here. Yeah, they lost 5-4. Wow, Arizona came back a little bit.
They're so bad.
They suck.
Wow, they scored 2 in the – oh, my gosh. So they scored 2 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th to lose 5-4. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. You get this AA pitcher tomorrow and then a bad Arizona team. But it's also possible that they don't play well against a bad Arizona team because they haven't played well against other bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I mean, you could argue that what they do against the teams in front of them will determine their course here. Arizona, San Francisco, Miami, right?
Yeah.
Got a lot of those games.
I'm just glad at least one person has still kept the faith in Esteban.
There's more than one.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Ernie Martinez.
Dude, Ernie.
They could be like 12 out right now.
They'd be 12 out with 11 to play. Like, there's still a chance.
Yeah, you never know. Could be a rain out.
I love Ernie.
Yes, we do. Rita, thank you again. He says, it would have been on Melvin if it went extras. I've avoided crapping on Melvin for so long. How did the Dodgers put up tipping pitches on our pitchers before our own staff notices? Could have pitched Hader during garbage game yesterday. The reason you probably don't pitch Hader yesterday, hear me out on that, guys, is if you pitch him in garbage yesterday and you have back-to-back save opportunities, you're not going to use him in that third game. But by using him today, you can use him tomorrow, and then they're off Thursday.
What the hell was that?
What?
I heard like a squeaking noise. Never mind.
I don't know. But you hear me out? If they used him yesterday and then you had save, you wouldn't use him in the second save because it would be the third straight day.
Right.
So I think that's why they elected not to use him yesterday, would be my guess.
Right.
My 2 cents on that. Okay, we're going to get back to the chat and the supers. Guys, if you were here, thank you so much. Rita, thank you so much for that very generous super chat. As always, we do need to remind you about our title sponsor here on the wrap-up show. That is Mark Nimitz, who is a longtime supporter. He's been with us since day one. We got the channel off the ground with Mark's support. And you guys, of course, have helped us since that point by watching, whether it's live or on replay over the course of the last 2+ years. But again, if you have insurance needs, you know where to turn. It's Mark Nimitz. I've got insurance through Mark. You can take it from us. He is a great insurance agent with amazing customer service and communication. He can save you $750 or more just by switching your insurance to him. You can click the link in the description down below to get to his website. And oh, by the way, at his website, you can get free quotes online for whatever you need. I've got homeowners, earthquake, and life insurance through Mark Nimitz. Saved me literally thousands of dollars last year when we had a flood in my home. Saved us so much time as well because he took care of everything. He put it all together for us. He's tying up all the loose ends. I literally had to do like nothing. He's making a million calls on my behalf. I mean, he's doing all this stuff for me. So I'm just incredibly grateful for what he did for us last year when we had that claim. And again, if you want to support this channel, Mark's a San Diegan, lifelong Padres fan, huge supporter of our work. If you support our work, if you're in Southern California, get in contact with Mark. He'll talk to you about the Padres. He'll save you $750 or more on your insurances just by switching. If you need information on a new policy, he can provide that to you as well. Again, if you need an insurance agent in any manner, please get in contact with our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information is really actually above my head right now.
Yeah, it is.
And Nimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap Up Show sent you.
I see some conversation or some chatter about, hey, the Padres have raised season ticket prices for the third consecutive year, or something like it's gone up 50, 60, 70% in total over the last 3 or 4 years. And I understand frustration. The team's 4 games under 500, but it's not like they're just raising ticket prices and not spending. It's like, what do you want? I guess would be my argument. Do you want more affordable tickets, but a payroll that is lessened, or do you want them to really put the pedal down and keep doing this thing? And I don't know what they're making. I don't know what they're losing, but like Peter Sadler spends. Now, it might be at the expense of the cost of your ticket, but they're spending and they are trying, quote unquote, as much as they really ever have in terms of payroll. It's not my money. I don't have season tickets, but again, if there's a reason to raise ticket prices and it has to do with the overall payroll and you stay in the top 5 of payroll, to me, that's at least justifiable.
Mm-hmm. No, we all knew this was coming. It's just, it would have been easier to stomach if they were winning.
No doubt.
It's as simple as that. I mean, if you win, you pay. The winning comes at a premium cost, okay, for most teams. Just especially with the ballpark and how much they're spending.
Mm-hmm.
So it was expected. I think the timing of it was interesting. I mean, you send it out right after the way you lost to the Dodgers. I mean, not great. But again, I don't think anybody would be complaining. Well, there would be those people that would be complaining for sure. But hey, if you win, it becomes easier to stomach. And when you lose and you raise ticket prices, everyone flips their fuck out. That's how it works.
Yeah, I just think if people want this to be sustainable, and everyone does, then it comes with like literal cost. And I'm not saying that's ideal. I understand it. It's expensive to bring a family to a Padres game. And by the way, it's not just the Padres. Across baseball, it's not cheap. I mean, it's a business, and it's a big business. It really is. And the payrolls are exorbitant. They're huge. So yeah, I'm with you. It's more reasonable when the team is winning or in playoff positioning and they're not, but nobody wants to see them tear this thing down, which by the way, I don't even think they can, but
it's like impossible.
Yeah. But I understand it. Again, it's not my money, but I understand it considering what they're trying to accomplish and how they're trying to, maintain spending, presumably. Every so often, thank you for your generous super chat here. He says, as of this day, and taking into account all the extensions in the offseason beginning, would you still do them? I think you only do Manny and maybe you. It's interesting. Like if you could do this thing over again, Jim, Bogarts, Suarez, Machado, Darvish, like what would you change? Like if you could change one, what are you changing? Is it Bogarts? Is it the
Can I only change one?
Change one of them.
I think it's at Bogarts. I think that's the easiest one.
Yeah. Okay, change 2.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Bogarts and Manny.
Because just they didn't need to do it.
Yeah. It felt like, and this is after the fact, so this is obviously, Captain Hindsight. The relationship between Manny and Sadler was so good that if they waited and they didn't get something done, I feel like they would have got something done this season or later on. Or you could have been very bold and said like, hey, the season that Manny's having is not great. The decline here is something we don't know if we want to give that much money to. It's interesting.
The Manny thing's tough. Like, life's about leverage, and Manny had the leverage in the moment. Like, you go into spring training, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to opt out.
Yeah.
Like, in the moment, it's like, wow, that's a pretty strong statement, and that could be impactful on our season. Now, with the benefit of seeing 114 games in, they're not good.
Now, actually, I thinking about it more in the last 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bogarts easily, and then Cronenworth is probably actually the one that's probably the right answer. I mean, you can make an argument for Manny, like for both ways. Like you needed to sign him, but also you didn't have to sign. You know what I mean? Like you could make the argument both ways. The Cronenworth argument, it's like there's no argument for them for the reason why they had to sign him then. None. Zero.
No, it's like they just wanted to get cute. Like, let's do it. He's a 2-time All-Star. Let's the Braves model. Let's kind of emulate that. But like, you got a 30-year-old player switching positions. He shouldn't be playing in a power position like first base. He's got less value playing in a corner than he does in the middle of the infield, right? Because of his bat. His bat does not play to a corner; it plays to a middle position. And they got cute there. They're like, oh, it's only $11 million a year. Yeah, but you didn't need to do it.
No.
And now you don't have that money for Hassan Kim.
Exactly. And that's a problem.
Yeah. So, no, I agree with you on Cronenworth. I do. The Machado thing is interesting. I don't think anyone wants to see him go. So I understand. I understand what they were trying to accomplish.
And that's what we argued. Like, you're better. Like, you want Manny Machado on your team. You do. It's just they definitely, I don't want to say caved, but Seidler said, yeah, I don't care what anyone else thinks. We're signing him.
He's my number one priority. And once he said that, Manny had even more leverage.
Yep.
Now, the other thing, you look at this box score, obviously they did absolutely nothing. And we've been talking about Bogarts a lot over the last couple of days. Bogarts had one of the hits today. It could have been there. It was ruled ahead. Another game batting fifth, Jim, without an RBI. Now, they didn't score. Nobody had an RBI. But it's another game for Xander Bogarts, another 3 or 4 plate appearances. He's well over 400 at this point. He has 37 runs driven in. I mean, is there what's the issue with dropping him down? Is it, hey, he's a $280 million player? Hey, he's a world champion. Hey, he's a leader. We don't want to do that. Is it like unwritten to not move him down the order because this is Xander Bogarts? He's a member of the Big Four. He can't bat eighth. Is that what we're seeing here? I mean, he, not like Jake Cronenworth's been good. So it's not like if Cronenworth hits fifth and Bogarts hits sixth, you've solved everything. So what's the thinking here? It's Xander Bogarts and we just can't move him out of this top 5?
Bro, it's the big leagues. Okay. There's no crying in baseball. Okay. Your feelings about things, like, I'm sorry, is it better for the team or not? And for the betterment of this team, keeping Xander Bogarts in the middle of this lineup is not helping you. I mean, it's a joke how little production he has given this team. And I'll always preface by saying I like Xander. I think Xander is a good clubhouse guy with the right pieces in the clubhouse. I think that I would want a Xander Bogarts on my team. He's a proven winner. That being said, this is bad. It's embarrassing, the production, the lack of production you're getting from your $280 million player. Like it's not even like, oh, he has like 55 RBIs. He's got like 10 home runs. Like he's got 37 RBIs and he has 2 in the last month. That's a joke. Yeah, he needs to move. You need to move him down in the order. I don't give a shit if his feelings get hurt. You hit him 7th, you hit him 8th, and you move whoever else up. Sanchez, fucking Choi, Kimisano,
Cooper. Yeah, Campy.
I don't care. Having Xander Bogarts in the middle of this lineup is hurting your team.
Yeah, no, it has. There's no doubt. Iron Lung, thank you again for the super. He says, why are San Diego sports cursed? That's a lengthy conversation. Players come to San Diego to decline throughout history. What's the deal? Organizational, development, scouting, management? I mean, this could be a 6-hour marathon video to really get into. I don't know. I mean, it's fair that that's occurred often. I think Machado's had some nice years as a Padre in his prime. Not perfect. I think he's had some nice years. That's one example. I think there's some other players like Joe Musgrove, who have come here and thrived the last 3 years. Yu Darvish has pitched pretty well for the Padres the last 3 years. So I don't think this is some straight line, but I think the point is somewhat. I get the point.
I don't know, man. Curses, the sports curse here. I mean, is the reason why this team sucks this year as a sport is the curse?
Yes, the curse pushed Tatis off the motorcycle.
That's one of the greatest lines I've ever.
We're like, wait, what?
Like, what the fuck? What did you just say?
That's
the curse broke his arm.
I'm like, what?
Like, what?
That was interesting. Let me get back. I wish we could answer that. I really do. I mean, you're not wrong to say players come here and don't get better.
All the above, dude. It's all of the above. They all are a big reason or a tiny reason, but they're all a reason why this team just, I don't know.
Yeah. Andrew, thanks. He says Padres are afraid to make hard decisions. Their problem. Maybe. Like, hey, Hater, when do you want to pitch? Hey, exactly. Juan, where do you want to bat?
Yeah, Xander, are you good in the 5th? You're good in the 5 spot?
Right.
If we happen to move you down to the 7th spot, would you be okay? No, okay, fine. We'll keep you in the 5th. We'll keep you in the 5th spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember that article or the report earlier this year about how Juan Soto and Manny and Xander were like frustrated for where they're batting in the lineup.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Like, I don't feel.
Again, you got a lot of type A. I know, but that's the thing. You got these big.
I don't feel comfortable hitting in the 3 hole. I don't feel comfortable hitting cleanup. Shut up.
I mean, listen, that's the thing when you got these big, huge personalities, big time agents, big time salaries. You're going to run into some of that. And they got a lot of that on this team. They got a lot of type A. They got a lot of big, big stars that are struggling individually and collectively. And that adds up to not something good. We'll get back to the chat here in a moment. Thank you guys for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. Please subscribe if you're here. Please click the link that is pinned in the top of the chat and subscribe to our brand new John and Jim YouTube channel as well. What are you laughing at?
In the chat. Sorry.
What is this?
The Padres lineup reminds me of my wife.
What does that even? I don't even know.
I don't even know what it means. It's just funny.
You like that. Guys, please support our partners, including Ora, ORA.organic. Their co-founder, Will, is a San Diegan and a huge Padres fan and a huge supporter of this channel. They've got offices in San Diego, in Liberty Station. You can get to their website, which is on screen, by clicking the link down below or by going to ORA.organic. I've been taking, it's all plant-based nutritional products, all of them, and I've been taking their probiotic for over a year. I love their probiotic. I've taken probiotics in general for a decade. I won't switch from Ora. It's an amazing product, the best probiotic I've ever taken. I take it every single day for digestion and many more reasons. They also have pre-workout supplements and proteins for after workouts and omega-3 oils for you fish oil pill takers. You can take their omega-3 oil and get the same benefits. They also have sleep pills and immunity pills and much more. You can find all of their products by shopping at ORA.organic or by clicking the link in the description down below. But again, if you support our work and our channel, please make sure to check out our friends at Ora, their co-founder, Will, by clicking the link in the description down below. If you're looking to get healthier, yourself, your family, your friends, no better place to do it than at Ora, ORA.organic, or click that link down below.
Yeah, they have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Go there right now, pick up some supplements. If you wanted to start taking some supplements, you don't know where to go to Ora, www.ora.organic. It's plant-based, organic, cleanest on the market. Go check them out. Pick up some stuff. Will, the founder of Ora, huge lifelong Padres fan. So if you support us, help support Will and our sponsors. Go check them out, www.ora.organic.
All right. Thank you, Will. Thank you guys for hanging out. Again, please subscribe year-round exclusive Padres content. Please consider a super chat like this one from Richard, who says, and thank you, Richard, says, commenting on Jim's statement on the grind and effort the live stream takes. I respect your passion and work ethic. Thanks from this Dodgers fan. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Richard.
Appreciate that. Now, is he just respecting your passion and work ethic or our collective passion and work ethic?
Yeah, screw you.
I know. By the way, if it wasn't for Jim, I'd be like on like a Telegram right now, like reporting. I'd be like writing blog posts about the Padres every night for the last 4 years.
You would not be on YouTube.
Not on YouTube. Now, as the story goes, the way we started the wrap-up show was me being like, Jim, you have to do the wrap-up show with me on radio. We have no choice.
Also, the reason why we went to YouTube is all thanks to Rich Ornberger.
Interesting. He's like, you should be on YouTube. We're like, what's YouTube?
We're like, huh? You can do that?
You
like,
mean
what?
The website that has like how to fix a light bulb?
Like, what?
And like kids' videos?
Yeah. So he's not asking yet, but yeah, royalties in the future, potentially. Not really.
By the way, is there, I love the iHeartRadio app is spectacular. I love that thing. It's the #1 audio app in the world. Thing's ridiculous. Video content. Is there any YouTube? There's nothing like YouTube. It's an amazing place. I consume so much. I consume so much audio, like when I'm driving, like using an iHeartRadio app. And then when I'm watching video, man, I mean, YouTube is really, it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. The volume is crazy.
I saw something somewhere, or I was watching a video about like, I don't know, it's like an informational video on YouTube. And the guy said that there are over like 2 million people on YouTube that have like, I forget the number.
You're such an idiot. You're butchering that. 2 million?
No. 200 million, I think it was.
No, it's 2 billion. I think there's 2 billion users of YouTube in the world.
No. What I meant is like content creators on YouTube creating content and making a living off of it.
Oh, that might be 2 million.
I think it might be more than that.
More than 2 million?
But the point is YouTube has become a place for people to literally, if you don't want to work somewhere, you can work for yourself and become a content somewhere. You become a content creator. It's insane.
If you were starting a channel, what would your channel be about? Put it in the chat. Like, what's your expertise? So often,
how Trent Grisham strikes out from pitches thrown out to the middle. Yeah, just like do all Grisham strikeouts.
Every so often. Thank you again for your super. He says Padres paying the price for the Aztecs basketball run. Isn't that a funny way of looking at things in San Diego? Like you can only have so many nice things.
I have one thing,
and that was a very nice thing. I don't think it's as simple as that.
No,
if I'm being honest.
No. And here's the thing, like making the national championship game, it's not like any other sport where it's like you make the Super Bowl and you're like, well, we can't celebrate that loss. Or like you make the NBA finals and you're like,
there's like 400 teams in Division I basketball.
It's completely different. And it's such a crapshoot. It's a one and done.
And to get back is so, I don't care who you are.
There's a reason why that you hang banners for making the Final Four and the national championship game, even if you don't win it.
I'm hanging banners for every single win. I mean, it's hard to win in the NCAA tournament. I mean, having watched it firsthand up close and personal, it was an amazing run. It really was.
John's hanging banners for wins over Wyoming on a Wednesday night.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Not Wyoming. Maybe Wyoming. Brady, thank you for the super chat. He says, here's the take. You probably missed it, Brady. Tatis needs to take steroids again to make those fly balls home runs. And Brady, I don't know if you're a Padre fan or not. Anyone that thinks that Tatis was taking steroids last year in season, well, he wasn't taking steroids last year in season because he didn't play. And then B, anyone that thinks that Tatis's power has been zapped because of steroids, well, then you haven't watched Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, just his like advanced stat numbers show that this dude is hitting rockets.
Exit velocity, distance. I mean, come on. Like,
yeah. This is a slump, but it's a hard slump, if that even makes sense.
Yeah. And that can happen.
Like Manny's slump this year was not a hard slump. It was he's rolling over a lot of pitches. He's striking out a lot. He's popping a lot of shit up. This, and you could say like Manny's playing like shit. This is I feel if you want to say unlucky, then you could put that moniker to what Tatis is going through right now.
Julio Rodriguez went over the center field wall to bring back a home run tonight. That's unlucky.
James Outman on Friday night went over the center field wall to take away a Tatis home run.
So 2 times this week, but
Yeah.
but he has no power. I mean, he's got power.
Yeah.
That one, Homie's Garage. Thank you for the super again. He says Campy goes 4 for 4, and we put him on ice. He didn't play today. Fire everyone, especially the video replay guy. I understand why Musgrove said we don't need Hader or Snell. I don't know if he said that exact line.
No,
I know what you're saying.
He actually said the opposite.
Well, initially he was like, "Hey, listen, we're still a good team without Hader or Snell." And he's like, "If we sell Hader or Snell, we'll be kicking ourselves for down a game or two."
Right.
I don't know why Campy Sano didn't play today.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. And you traded for guys that need to play, but they're not doing much. So I don't know.
I like that. General Ripper, thank you. He says it's clear that the players run the clubhouse. Bob is too passive for these type of personalities. Can you imagine Hoffman dictating when he pitches? But that's also now going back another era. Like, when did he last pitch, Hoffman, in San Diego? 15 years ago?
Yeah. 7.
Yeah. Okay. 16 years ago.
7,
You know,
8.
things have changed. I mean, Hoffman didn't make $100 million in a contract like Edwin
No.
Diaz or Josh Hader's about to make. I mean, the game changes. I think your point is valid. I think your point could be spot on. Maybe the players are running this clubhouse, and maybe that's problematic, and maybe that's not an issue going on in some other clubhouses in baseball. But I just feel like players do dictate decisions now, sometimes with organizations, because they do have a lot of power. And I don't think that's specifically unique to the Padres, would be my guess.
But that's Bob Melvin's MO. He's a player's manager. He he's said it before. Like, I rarely go in the clubhouse. Like, this is a
Their
play
space.
clubhouse. That's the player's space. And I think a lot of players respect and like him for that they don't have a guy like Jace Tingler or Andy Green always up in their grill hanging out in the clubhouse. Like, no, that's the player's space. I think the problem with Melvin, and I don't even know if this is a problem. I don't even know if it's him. Could be the front office telling him. I don't know what it is, but it does feel like the players are having a little too much say in where they hit, and especially with Josh Hader, like, when are you going to pitch? And like, so yeah, you know, it's an interesting dynamic with a lot of personalities in that clubhouse for sure.
No, it is. I mean, it's a good point from General Ripper. It's just hard to get to the bottom of the issues, the problems.
I don't. And by the way, I see in the chat here, dude. I don't think he's. This is not a lost clubhouse situation. This is not a Jace Tingler situation. This is a player situation dealing with. It's a player on player crime. That's how I view it. The before it was players versus Tingler. This to me is player versus player.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't Melvin losing the clubhouse. I just don't think that's the case.
Guys, if you are here, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports is underdogfantasy.com. If you use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's right, a 100% deposit match up to $100. Underdogfantasy.com is on your screen right now. They have daily drafts going on for tomorrow's Major League Baseball action, starting at just $3 per draft. They have NFL drafts you can sign up for right now with $3.5 million in prizes, by the way, for the 2023 NFL season. Again, you get a 100% deposit match with your first deposit up to $100 by using promo code PADSWRAP. In addition to that, you can play their daily pick'em contest across all sports by picking simple higher or lowers. We did it yesterday, and you can do it again tomorrow. You pick 2 higher or lowers or more, like higher than 5.5 strikeouts or lower than 17 pitching outs, and you can win. And you can select up to 5, and you can win big. And if you select 2 or more, a $20 wager pays $60 just by going 2 for 2 in a simple pick'em contest. No easier place to play than Underdog Fantasy. The drafts, no waivers, no trades. All you do is draft. You can even auto draft. They take care of the rest. The pick'em game could not be simpler, could not be easier. So again, if you want to support the channel, best and easiest place to play fantasy sports, underdogfantasy.com or the Underdog Fantasy app. Make sure to use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. What a day. I think we have another super that came in. We do. Are you asking Juan? Thank you, Juan. You
Thanks,
guys
Juan.
honestly think they make the playoffs? Exclamation point or question mark?
I'll stick with my original thought, which
You
was
said yes, right?
I did say yes because I think everyone in front of them sucks so much that they're going to end up sneaking their way in. Like they'll just like all of a sudden fall over and be like, oh shit, we're in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I also will preface by saying I still will be more surprised if they make it than if they miss it. And that's what I said a couple weeks ago.
Wait, what?
I'll be more surprised.
But didn't you predict today that they make it?
Yeah, but I just said yeah because I think they're going to back their way in because everyone else around them sucks, and it would surprise me. I know it doesn't make sense.
So basically, both things. If they make it, you're like, I told you they could have made it.
Sure, I don't know.
I don't think they will win. I said that today. I mean, I wish I did, but I've watched all 114 games, and I see a team that's lacking. I hope I'm wrong. I don't see it right now. I hope I'm wrong. By the way, to get to 85 wins, they got to go 30-18. To get to 86 wins, they got to go 31-17, which is like 640 baseball. I mean, it's you're getting up to the nitty gritty now. You hear that? Listen to that train.
Are you like right on the train tracks?
I'm like literally on the train track. It's about to run me over. Stay tuned.
Watch out.
Every so often, thank you. He says, it's going to be interesting to see the player outburst toward the end of the season if the Padres don't make the playoffs like Manny Tatis in 2021. What are you laughing at?
The latest super that just came in. But continue with this one. It's fine.
I saw it too. What do you think? Are we going to see some frustration taken out in dugouts on field if the Padres don't win here in the final 48 games?
I hope not.
It's possible.
If that happens, what a just horrific look for this team.
Yeah, it would be bad.
Yeah.
That would be really bad. I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't want to see that. Thank you, Iron Lung. He says, can we use underdog in California? Still illegal in California, LOL. No, fantasy is not. Fantasy is legal. Fantasy is absolute. Underdogfantasy.com is legal in the state of California. I promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, can you wager on sports bets? No, but can you do daily fantasy? The answer is yes. And if you're doing it, underdogfantasy.com, promo code PODSWRAP, 100% deposit match. So thank you, Iron Lung. John Quintero, thank you for hanging out. He says, love the show, but I'm still beating you in ratings, which is funny and possible, but we don't have a show against John Quintero's show. He's on from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wow. We don't even go on the air until 3 p.m.
We go up against the fucking Padres most days.
True. When the team's like in Philadelphia and they play at 3:40,
so
we're on the air.
Yeah. So we're not going up against Coach. We're going up against the Padres. Like the Padres, the Padres run the rate. Like that's in our ratings window is Padres baseball.
True. Yeah, that is a good point.
Oh, you guys suck.
Jim used to produce Coach's show.
I did, yeah. I think I love Coach.
Yeah, he's been very. I don't know him well, but anytime I've ever spent time with him, he's like the nicest dude
on the planet. Like
yeah. No, he is. Should that do it for like our 24-hour day on YouTube, which is like going to be every day, by the way, from now on?
Are we gonna in like 3 weeks? Are we still gonna have like significant others?
I mean, nothing changed with it. Nothing has changed. We're still doing a radio show. It just happens here on YouTube.
But here's the thing: it doesn't feel like a lot. Like it felt like
feels
more.
Like everything has changed.
But and that's the thing. Nothing's changed on there, and like we still go to work. We're there for
same amount of
time. Nothing's changing there.
And did Aaron watch it all today?
She did. Yeah.
Kristen was in the chat earlier.
If you guys watched today, what did you guys think?
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah, because I know
crowdsourcing. Everyone's going to rip you like they did when you changed the look of the wrap-up show.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're watching right now and you still haven't, we would love if you would subscribe to John and Jim. I believe the link is pinned at the top of the chat.
It is. I should put it in the chat as well.
Yeah. But what did you guys think? Pedro says we should just marry each other.
No, because I'm the officiant at the wedding.
Yeah, so John is literally marrying me.
Right.
This is great. Thanks a lot, Joe. I didn't watch, but you were great.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Parts where Jim wasn't talking were great. That's great.
That's awesome. Quan says it made his day go by faster at work. That's great to hear.
I do like hearing that.
Okay, here's real quick. It's not our studio, and the way the studio.
My wife said the same thing. She's like, "You need a background." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, hold on."
The way the studio is built, it's not our fault. It was built for like a TV production, and the way that things set up, it's just we're dealing with like foam walls. I can't do anything behind me, but I don't know. Sorry, we're in a radio studio.
Yeah, my wife's like, "You need to get like a small neon sign and put it on the counter." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
This is hilarious.
Watching.
He said, "Just kidding."
That's good.
And then look, I mean, one Cav likes the
cave
look, the cave look, yeah.
Yeah.
And no, there were. I mean, I guess there's no commercial. It's true. You don't hear the commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're advocating for that working in radio,
but it's like a continuous stream,
right?
So,
Charlie, thank you for asking. Well, hold on, let me get to that.
Okay.
My dad is doing better, Charlie. Not perfect. He's actually still kind of going through the rehab. It's been 2 months since his open heart surgery. He's still getting back to being himself, but thank you for asking. I mean, he's on the other side of it. So I do appreciate you asking. What else do we have here? Rich said the chat was nice. Kind of cool to see everyone just interacting because we were interacting in the chat as well, but we don't pull the chat on the screen during the show, but you guys can just interact.
We're trying to do like the radio show instead of a YouTube show.
By the way, this is awesome. Shout out.
Sweet.
Malachi. Thank you for hanging out. I have a very close friend that lives in Tokyo that I worked with in minor league baseball. Jim, did you know I worked in minor league baseball?
No, I didn't. Shocker. Ha ha.
Ha
ha ha. LOL.
This is true, Jonah. We might lead with this tomorrow on the radio. Should the Padres move to Montana? And here's why.
You know, I was just thinking. It'd be funny if one night, and it probably would just be, it'd be stupid if this team gets eliminated. Okay, in the regular season, and there's still like games to play. Right?
Yeah.
The following day, we should just have Aaron and Kristen do the wrap-up show.
They're not doing that, dude.
You know how funny that would be?
It'd be amazing.
Like, hey, just go do whatever on the wrap-up show for 20 minutes.
They would like tear the whole thing down.
we get like suspended, and
I know. They'd be like playing Britney Spears like music videos.
People
and stuff.
Would be sending in super chats like just borderline OnlyFans account.
That like happened last year. They're like, Aaron, show your face. I'll give you money.
Yeah, I know. It'd be funny though, because who gives a shit anymore if they get eliminated?
Pedro, yeah. Remember when my mom was on the show? Lord, I was on radio.
Funny. That was funny.
Oh, did Florida Man win? Do we have a winner on 1.55 billion or no?
Of course, it's a Florida Man.
We should have played.
That's ridiculous because no taxes.
No, you still pay federal tax on lottery winnings. You have to,
but
maybe not state tax.
Yeah, state tax none.
Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, we haven't talked about this. We should mention this. Thank you, Pedro. It's incredible. I mean, he's barely 17. It's like 17 in 2 months. Had his 830, 840 OPS in Lake Elsinore in the Cal League, and now he's heading to Advanced A. I mean, it's really incredible. I mean, there's reasons to believe he'll be in Double-A for a good portion of next year. And from there, who the hell knows what happens?
He's becoming close to like the can't miss type of prospect, like a Tatis. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's an amazing story. I mean, it is. He's got a long way to go, obviously, for him to be an impactful player for the Padres. But yeah, I mean, it's feeling like, wow, did they find something really special?
Yeah.
And could you really make an impact in the big leagues at like 19? Like, is that possible if he gets through this season and then next year? Like, could he be an impactful piece as a 19-year-old? That's incredible to
As a
even
catcher?
say.
As a
It's incredible to
catcher.
even say. It's like Pudge. Well, Pudge was up at 20, maybe. Maybe we'd have to look 19, 20. So it's an amazing story. And unfortunately, it's not going to bail out the Padres this year, but it might in a year or two, which is incredible in itself. Yeah, Anthony says at 19 he'll be in a Padre uniform. It's possible. It is possible that he'll be a Padre by the time he's 19, which is incredible. All right, we should go.
We've done it, yeah.
All right, join us tomorrow. A couple of ways to do that. We'll have a wrap-up show for you following Game 2 of the series. We will have a John and Jim show for you, San Diego Sports 760, iHeartRadio app, and again on YouTube. If you are here live or on replay, please subscribe to this channel and our brand new John and Jim channel. You can click the link in the description down below or click the link that is pinned in the chat right now to subscribe to our brand new channel. Also, please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We do appreciate those super thanks that have come in recently from those of you that are watching on replay. So thank you guys so much if you're watching on replay for the super thanks. Please support our partners. Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor at Farmers Insurance, whatever it is, auto, home, life, renters. Mark is your guy. He can save you $750 or more. He's a San Diegan. Click the link in the description down below. Our buddy Will at Aura, also a San Diegan. If you're looking to get healthier with plant-based nutritional products, click the link in the description down below. And if you're looking for the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports, you should do it at underdogfantasy.com by using promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Also, this programming announcement, J.D. Wicker, doesn't have to do with the Padres, but San Diego State's athletic director will join us on the radio tomorrow at 5 p.m. All right, Jim. Just another day in the office.
Another day.
Oh, yeah, and the Padres lost to the Mariners 2-0.
What?
We will see you tomorrow night.